I was in law school when Jimmy Carter first ran for president. It was only 2 years after President Nixon resigned in disgrace. Carter ran on a platform of promising to always tell the truth in marked contrast to the lies, deception, and corruption of the Nixon administration. His campaign also occurred on the back end of the Jesus movement. And for followers of Jesus, his claim to be born again was a breath of fresh air. I voted for him in the 1976 election. A year and a half later, I was working as counsel in the U.S. Senate to the then Republican minority whip. Being in the opposite party of the president meant you were looking for ways to alter the president's agenda, which we often did. I still remember the sad day of the failed rescue attempt of the American hostages held by Iran. We were called to an emergency meeting by our senator, who then announced to us what had happened a few hours earlier, including the tragic death of several U.S. soldiers. That failure, among other things, doomed Carter's re-election campaign. It was during the latter part of the Carter presidency that the moral majority formed, led by the Reverend Jerry Falwell. Despite Carter being an evangelical Christian, the moral majority swung its support in the 1980 presidential campaign to Ronald Reagan. Carter, who was personally opposed to abortion, refused to support a constitutional amendment to ban abortions. He argued that legislating morality was a mistake. Reagan won the presidency in a landslide, and his coattails carried the Republicans to a U.S. Senate majority the first time in 25 years. For us Republicans, it was a thrilling time. We were now the governing party. But very significantly, evangelical Christians, led by the moral majority, became a major voting bloc of the Republican Party thereafter. No one likes to lose, and Carter obviously didn't. While he and Reagan had very different policy agendas, Carter did his best to prepare his successor. Unlike many former presidents, Carter did not take advantage of his former status by attempting to enrich himself. Instead, he threw himself into international peacemaking and humanitarian efforts. Jesus said to his followers, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Most presidential scholars rate Jimmy Carter as a below-average president. But as an example of godliness, integrity, and service, he is probably number one, especially through his works in his post-presidential years. What a contrast to today, one who seeks to serve rather than to aggrandize power and riches. Wouldn't it be nice for a president to once again proclaim, "I will never lie to you"? To learn more about politics and the gospel, please consider my new book on Amazon, How Politics Has Distorted the Gospel.